Hello, this is Deborah Anderson, the Black Woman Animator, coming back to you with another video. And this video asks, do black characters always have to be black? And that's to say, does blackness have to infiltrate every fiber of a character and its story in order for it to be a black character? Firstly, I'm not coming from this small, myopic view of blackness where there's only one way to communicate blackness. My definition is whatever version of blackness the character exhibits. When I was discussing this with my father, we were talking about how blackness can manifest differently for various people depending on where they live or what they're doing. So for one person, they could be navigating white spaces and possibly deal with racism or microaggressions, and for another person, they can grow up in the hood and have to deal with being a single parent or heightened police encounters. So essentially there is multiple ways to be black, but some stories tend to put blackness at the forefront of the plot. I want to split it up into 3 ways that blackness can be communicated. Number 1 is when blackness is an integral part of the story, so that's a Roots or Django Unchained. Number 2 is when blackness is being highlighted because of various issues in the story or character or story choices that are like Easter eggs. So that's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters, Into the Spider-Verse. And number 3 is where blackness is not at the forefront, but is used for diversity purposes or to have representation, and so that's like a Doc McStuffins. When blackness is an integral part of the story, it's a story where it cannot be played by any other race, and the themes are centered around something that black people find important, experience, or want to highlight. For me, I think that black creators need to go to the next level in this kind of storytelling, because at this point, I feel like we're telling the same stories over and over again, and we're not expanding on what we can talk about when black characters are involved. I remember wanting to see You Yesterday on Netflix when it first came out because it was about time travel. And then after seeing the movie, I was kind of exasperated because the reason they were time traveling is because one of the main character's brothers was shot by the police. I felt like this was a new possible take on a storyline, and then it just ended up including one of the many bad things we go through as black people. And highlighting our trials and tribulations is important, but sometimes in this version of storytelling where blackness is integral to the story, I just want us to be happy black people sometimes. And so I wanted the kids to time travel, the black kids to time travel, and that's not to say that they shouldn't go through obstacles, but I just wanted them to be different obstacles, not have to deal with the police, racism, or anything like that. When thinking about blackness being used for various background details or as Easter eggs, I'm actually going to use Always Be My Maybe as an example. Around the same time that See You Yesterday came out, a lot of people were talking about the movie Always Be My Maybe. It's a nice movie, a feel-good movie, and it does not have some new storyline because most Lifetime movies have the exact same storyline, particularly Lifetime Christmas movies, but the execution was great. It also included a lot of the Asian American experience, which could be nostalgic for their community. Something I liked from the cultural perspective was that there was an integration of a lot of Asian things like the cooking and whatnot, but it wasn't at the center of the story. It was an added ambiance. Lastly, when talking about a character being black for no other purpose than representation, I do feel like a black animated character does not have to be a stereotype in order to be in an animated world. One thing I like about the Backyardigans is that even though they have a character named Uniqua, it's not a stereotypical character. Blackness can be shown through culture, whether that's the various practices of different ethnicities or countries, or just throwing in the use of washcloths, which you don't realize is a black thing until you start spending the night over other people's houses. And being more hopeful for the future of black characters, more stories will and should definitely be told, and I think the indie industry will take care of this mostly. There are so many ethnicities, countries, and cultures that need to be shared and used as source material. I think as the animation industries around the world continue to grow, we'll continue to see these stories through an authentic lens. I think a nice evolution of viewership will be for people who are not Black to see Black content and not just think it's for Black people, because sometimes we're just not seen as another group of people. Folks will say, I don't see color, we're all human, but then look at Black content as if it's something that's alien and something they can't relate to. So we're not giving the opportunity to show that we have the same worries, the same problems, the same goals, and the same successes. All in all, there are multiple ways to be Black, and there's multiple ways to tell Black stories, and I look forward to seeing it all. Please let me know what you think about this topic. Like so I know it's real, comment and tell me how you feel, subscribe to seal the deal, and sign up for post notifications to show your zeal. I'll see you in the next video.